I was living in Big Sur. I was just divorced. I was 32. I went over to a friend's house for dinner. There was another guest there, and that was lust. He was one of the most exciting men I think I'd ever seen. Unbelievably handsome, very sensual, very sexy, and he had a magnificent brain. He was Irish, and he had the Blarney tongue, and he told stories. He had an unbelievable wit. I've always felt that the brain is a sexual organ, as well as other things which I needn't mention. So I was very turned on. In addition to being one of the handsomest men I'd ever seen and the most brilliant, he was also very misshapen, which really didn't mean a thing. As a very young child, he had polio twice before he reached the age of 6. This left him with a very bent, misshapen body, which didn't stop him at all for being one of the most brilliant men. He was the nephew of one of California's leading lawyers who had taken him under his care. Everybody thought that he would never walk. This boy would never walk. His uncle taught him to walk and helped him develop his mental powers. They both had photographic memories. A common pastime for them on Sunday mornings was to look at the editorial page in the Sunday paper for 15 minutes, close it, and then play a game with each other, which went like, column 4, paragraph 3, and then the other person would recite it. He became a lawyer, but quit on the day he heard 2 lawyers in the cafeteria discussing the way they were going to change their plea to wind up the case quickly so that they could do their golf game. And he became a high school teacher, inspired many, many students, because he was such a hero. By that time, he had already climbed Annapurna. Don't ask me how. And he would do things in the classroom like belay himself up the blackboard with a rope. Part of his teaching technique. He was full of imagination. Well, anyway, I was smitten. The next day I called my friend, the host, asked him how I could get in touch with his friend, and I wrote him a short poem. One has to move ahead, on these things. You can't just wait. 2 days later, I received an answer, which was just 2 sentences long, saying, I'm coming to Carmel for a conference on Saturday. Meet me at midnight in the graveyard of the Carmel Mission. This was my kind of a man. So I did, after putting together a mantilla, and trying to get back down the coast to my house in his little VW Bug, both of us consumed with lust, could have been a real road hazard. His parents were from the old country, Ireland. He still lived with them, as many Irish young men do. They marry late and they live with their parents. They had an interesting history also. His mother had been in an Irish tavern one night when there was a lot of noise just outside, men getting out of their cars, coming into the pub where there was music and dancing. The leader of this group, which was part of the Irish fighting group, asked her to dance. As they were dancing, he said, "I'm going to come back when this is all over and marry you." You see where he got it. And he did. And those were his parents. One day, he came home. He usually went in the back door. He was finished with his teaching day, and he opened the back door, and there on the kitchen floor was Celeste, his mother and father, dressed, her skirt hiked up, his pants down, and they were making love on the kitchen floor. Jerry stumbled through the room, said, "Oh, hi," went into the other part of the house and closed the door. After a while, his father came in, buttoning up his long underwear. He must have been in his 70s. And my friend said, "Tell me, Dad, how can this be? How can it be that you have been with Mom for so many years?" He had an older brother as well. "How can it be that you've been with my mother so many years and you can't make it into the bed? That you have to do it on the kitchen floor? What's the secret?" His dad said, "Well, me boy, when I first met your mother, I fell so much in love, I made up my mind I would never get to know her